Welcome back to Sunny Side Up with Michael and Faith. Faith, how you doing?
Good.
I feel like you start this response 5 out of 6 times with a yawn. As if you couldn't have done that 30 seconds before I hit the record button.
I know, and I don't know what the problem is. I think today it's because
It's all performative.
I literally just rolled out of bed.
You did. I would say roughly 7 minutes. 7 minutes out of bed, straight to the podcast. Well done, Faith.
Thank you.
Well
and
done.
Guess what time it is, everybody?
8:39.
Not 12 p.m.
We're getting closer to my time, but I know that this is about the limit you're willing to
8:30
give
is
to
the
me.
earliest I'm willing to get up on Saturdays.
Whatever. Okay. So, I want to just get a little something off my chest this week. It was one of those weeks. Did not love this week, other than like the main kind of piece of it was I felt like people were speaking a foreign language to me all week. I've been working on this same project for 2 weeks now at work, and it's taking up all of my brain power and time, and it's been explained to me so many times that I've just come to the point where I'm like shaking my head, like, yeah, sure. I'm not going to ask for you to explain this to me again because I clearly am not capable of understanding this right now. So yeah, sure. I'll shake my head at you.
Oh my God.
That's where I've been at for about 2 weeks. And it has been an absolute struggle bus. But I got Thursday, I ran the project and everything on it worked. I was like, no fucking way. I involuntarily clapped my hands, raised up in the air. I was like, hell. And then I was like, oh, I'm in an office. Better knock that off. So it's been a rough 2 weeks. Mm-hmm. I'm glad this project is like where it needs to be.
I am too. I'm proud of you for that.
Oh, it's been stressful. One more note before we get going on. We are going to have some pretty good audio texture today. We have contractors here pouring cement and flattening ground and stuff. So there's going to be some audio texture in the background. That's okay. I just want to give a little note on that. Faith, I wanted to ask you this weekend. Have you ever had like the epiphany moment where you go, oh, that's where this value or belief came from?
Not that I could think of.
I
don't know. I feel like I just haven't had one of those yet.
Okay. I have this like, my brain jumps around, and sometimes I don't realize where my brain has actually gotten to yet. So sometimes I'll be just thinking about something, and then all of a sudden I'll have like this epiphany moment where I'm like, oh, I now understand this thing that I wasn't even thinking about, but apparently the back of my brain was working on for me, and then just decided to mail it on up to the front of the brain. And as a thought exercise, sometimes I like to also look back like, why do I feel so strongly about this thing? And I wanted to share this because it's kind of prevalent in the news right now. One of my beliefs is that we should dehumanize the rich, like the mega rich, and we should eat them. Just eat them. That's about as much good as...
So cannibalism, Michael.
Yeah, for rich people, though. Like mega rich. I'm talking like multi-billionaires. Like, nah. Just eat them, right? So I more recently had an epiphany moment about where I got this like firm belief that, oh yeah, the rich shouldn't be really considered human, let alone citizens, let alone human. And it's because I vividly remember as a child listening to my grandfather in the other room talk about how the rich were going to be the reason for the next civil war. And that they're the ones that are truly ruining the country. Not the opposite political party, not, some other like race or something.
That came from your grandpa?
Yeah, it's the rich.
Weird.
Because they're making the disparities greater and greater, and yeah. And I was like, wow, Grandpa's this close to woke.
I was gonna say that's a little weird for him to say. Whoa.
Yeah, but then anyways, then I started to trace it. I remember listening to him. I remember sitting in their living room, and in the kitchen, I could hear him having conversations about issues with how much the rich are fucking over the man, to like grandma and maybe my mom. And then of course I held on to that because I hold on to anything that man says or does. He's, like my idol. Mm-hmm. And so like I get all of my personality from him. Not all, most of my personality I feel like comes
most
him.
of your personality,
especially like my sense
grandpa.
Of humor. It's like a copy and paste.
Yep. Being around you and your grandpa, it does feel like I'm in I'm the ping pong ball going back and forth because you guys are so similar.
But yeah, like I feel like I have actually picked up a lot of things.
Oh yeah, no, you guys are very, very similar. I would agree. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. That's just a really,
food habits too.
That's just insane coming like that he said something like that.
Yeah,
like that was one of the things.
Well,
it makes sense, but like, huh?
Yeah. Well, here's the thing. My grandpa is real redneck, meaning blue collar man. Since the day he was born, he came out of the womb driving a truck with a CDL license, okay? Like, he drove himself out of the womb. Uh-huh. That's how much of a trucker this man is, right? Uh-huh. And, you can make assumptions about certain political party affiliations, but at the end of the day, he's still the old school outlaw redneck who it's the government's fault, and the rich are fucking us over.
Yeah, no, that's exactly. Yeah, that's exactly
old school redneck. Yeah.
But yes, going back to the humor thing that you said. Yeah, because I watched you both stick your finger in your family's food and go, and then walk away.
Yeah, that one was a direct pickup from him because he used to do it to me all the time. He'd do it to a damn cookie. You'd be eating a cookie and you'd walk up and just shove his finger through your cookie and be like,
yeah, no, I've watched you guys do that a couple of times.
Yeah, can't help it. All right, so on a topic that my grandfather would never be able to speak about, social media. I was also kind of curious. I basically just came up. I'm kind of interviewing here a little bit and then interviewing myself by giving my own answer.
Okay.
Were there any social media sites that you remember I want to join this and you weren't convinced or asked to join the social media?
Oh. I was going to say Instagram, but that was because I was asked. Because my first phone, I can't remember the timeline on this exactly, but I think my first phone, I wasn't allowed, or I didn't have Instagram or anything, and then I think I broke that phone. It shattered, and then after that, my parents obviously weren't jumping to buy me a new one. And so I had one of my dad's old phones for a while, and I don't think I could call or text on it because it was just a disabled, it wasn't on the phone plan. It was just whatever. It could connect to the internet, but basically ended up just being a smaller iPad or something. You know what I mean? That's where, that's when I got Instagram, but it was because I had a friend that said, you should get Instagram. And so
that's a long-winded answer to not answer my question.
I know. I don't think because Instagram was my answer, but then I was no, because I wanted Instagram, but I didn't care enough to ask to get it.
Okay, so are there any social media sites that you joined not because you were asked?
Oh, probably TikTok.
Okay.
And in the beginning, probably before it was TikTok, when it was Musical.ly.
Oh, you're one of the OGs.
Yeah, Michael. I really, really liked Musical.ly. Probably that one, but that one was, I don't know.
Mm-hmm. I think I only have 2 social media sites that I ever remember wanting to join and wasn't asked or coerced into. And the first one was Myspace.
Oh. Also, when you said that was a long, when it started to say no, I bet my mom's cackling right now about the long story.
I know.
conversation.
This has been an ongoing conversation in your family for a couple of weeks now.
Mom gets it, though. She would have gladly listened to that.
Anyways, my turn to talk now, thank you. I'm interviewing myself. But MySpace was the first social media site I ever joined, and is the only one of two that I chose to join. Like, I volunteered to join it, right? And I remember feeling so good about joining MySpace when I did, because I was ahead of the curve. And I remember being in 5th grade, and I remember these girls who I didn't get along with, they were talking about MySpace, and I couldn't help myself. I said, "Oh, I have a MySpace." And they turned and they looked at me and said, "No, you don't." And I'm like, "Yes, I do." But of course, smartphones didn't exist, so I couldn't just pull up my MySpace page on my phone to say, "See, bitch."
I can, picture 5th grade you doing that. I also think it's really funny you had MySpace in 5th grade. I was not introduced to social media until I was in, 7th grade or 8th grade.
That was also, before cyberbullying.
Oh, true. This is the 1900s.
This was not the 1900s, thank you. It was the 2000s. But this was before cyberbullying was a thing.
Yeah.
Before people knew how to do it or knew it existed. We didn't know we needed to really be on guard for sexual predators. It just wasn't wasn't as top of mind as it is now, because the internet's devolved into that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I felt real good. I was like, I have a MySpace, and they because they didn't, because they wanted one, but their parents weren't gonna let them have one. But I was like,
makes sense for 5th grade.
Yeah, felt great. I was like, I'm a cool kid. I wasn't a cool kid at all. And then the other one was Twitter. Twitter, I joined voluntarily because I liked the memes.
I guess Twitter I did join voluntarily too then.
Oh.
And I deleted my Twitter account because it turned into X and then it got so horrible. My password for it, I sent it to my friend the other day because I was going through my notes app and I looked at it and I was like, oh, I obviously made this with her. It said her name is dumb. And I was like, oh, I definitely made this when I was with you. And so I sent it to her and she thought it was funny. But anyways, that's how unserious I took.
For a split second, I thought you were about to tell me what the password was.
I know. I saw the
no,
panic.
No, don't do that. Don't do that.
I saw the panic in your eyes.
Even if it's a deactivated account, not a good idea. Stressful. Being married to you is stressful.
What?
It's just very stressful.
Oh, perfect.
Blasting passwords on social
okay.
on podcasts.
On our 1-year anniversary, you can just list all the reasons why being married to me is so stressful.
As if your list would be twice as long as why for being married to me is stressful. So that didn't make any sense, but I know you know what I was trying to say there. Speaking of stressful, I am starved for time off. I'm starved for vacation time. The European mind could not possibly comprehend what I'm about to say. But I'm so starved for time off compared to any of my previous jobs, because I've been a public servant my whole life, and therefore, surprisingly, the Idaho state government and the federal government actually did take care of benefits pretty nicely, right? Mm-hmm. Well, this is my first time in private industry, right? This last year. But I'm so starved for time off that going to the doctor's on Thursday afternoon kind of felt like it was a holiday for me. Because I got to leave the office at 1:45. And I was like, it's a little bit of a holiday. Nice. Oh, and I was looking at the clock. I was going to get home early. Yeah, I was pretty excited. And then I was thinking about this. I was like, that's kind of sad.
Yeah.
But I've been trying to like figure out what is my perfect day off. Because I'm only going to allow myself to have one day off a year for myself. Because I have to save up the rest of the time off for when and if you have a baby, because no parental leave. Therefore, I need to save up every hour of vacation time I can. But I got to give myself something, right? So I'm going to give myself one day per year to take off.
Which is very depressing.
Yes. So I've been kind of at the drawing board on what the perfect day off would look like. And I think this is what I've come to. And it actually starts the day before. So my perfect day off would start with, I get a clean, straight razor shave on top of my head. I'm talking real fucking slick, bald man clean. Good, nice. And because you also get like the hot and cold towel. You get all the oil and great stuff, right? But that's $100 to do a straight razor shave and then a beard trim. $100. And that's with like a $10, $15 tip. So then I hit up a coffee shop like 15 minutes before they close, and I get a iced oat milk like latte or some kind of like associated drink like that.
Can I interrupt? Did you just say you're going to be one of those people that goes 15 minutes before they close?
It's a coffee. It'll be okay. It's a coffee.
You're one of those people.
No. Totally different. Ordering a coffee versus ordering a full-ass meal from somewhere.
No, because if it's 15 minutes before they close, they've probably already done their closing tasks, which include cleaning everything. So then you come in 15 minutes before and you say that, they're probably like, this motherfucker, now I have to go and we have to clean all this again. They're going to hate you.
I'm pretty sure coffee shops, like the one I'm envisioning, stay busy all the way up until that door closes.
Which one are you envisioning?
I've been in coffee shops, like a sit-down coffee shop. And I've been in those where there are people that they have to kick out because the time is, we're closed. Get out.
Have they ordered something recently?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
I don't believe you. Which one are you thinking of?
I spent years living in coffee shops, okay?
Which one were you thinking of?
I don't know. I haven't picked one. That's
you
not
just
important.
Said you have one in mind.
No, like the kind of coffee shop. You know, like a sit down.
Oh, you guys didn't just see Michael's hand gestures.
Like a sit down. You come in. It's not a drive-through thing. You sit down, and there's all this stuff like puzzles or games. Okay. So, anyways, I'm trying to get through this very boring story as quickly as possible.
Okay.
15 minutes before close, I order an iced. You messed me up. Oat milk latte with 2 extra shots. Then I say no ice. I take that back home. I put it in the fridge. Now I can start my perfect day, because my perfect day requires not a single penny spent.
Okay.
I mean, not one penny.
Sorry. One question again. Why would you say iced and then ask for no ice if you were just going to put it in the fridge?
Because
you could get a hot and then put it in the fridge.
No, whoa. They're different. They are different.
Okay, continue.
Then, my perfect day starts, right? I wake up, I get my non-iced iced coffee. I put ice in it. Now I have a beautiful iced coffee. I wake up clean shaven, feeling great. No ingrown hairs, no pimples, no nothing, right? Perfect scalp. Perfect scalp. And then I sit my ass on a couch. I open up a laptop and I put on a marathon of movies from my backlog and I play a video game all day. Perfect day off.
So
I just need one of those a year to survive.
In this scenario, you're not married. I was nowhere in that story, Michael, but okay.
No, this is a day for me. This is a day for me.
Yeah, and not once you said, I'm going to wake up, I'll kiss my wife, and then I go out. I just don't exist in your perfect day off.
Okay, if it helps, there is one actual last part, and I have written here. It's not a save my ass, but it is. This is how I wrote it. Then I sit my ass on a couch and play video games all day long. But then I make us. I use the word us right there. Make us something real nice for dinner.
Okay.
Yeah.
At least I get an us. Your perfect day.
Me and you, we get a nice ass, like, fancy dinner. Oh, and also a midday walk with Sissy. Good little stretch for both of us. That's my perfect day off.
Okay.
That one day would be enough to keep me happy with my job for a good long while.
So I just need to fuck off till dinner time.
Low-key, yes. Yes. I don't want... Also, a key component of my perfect day off, nobody asks me for shit. Nobody talks to me until, like, near the end of the day. I want silence.
Okay.
Not out of, don't talk to me, I hate you, you're not a part of it. But, like, I'm always being asked for something. I'm always being talked to. And that's a key part of, like, I don't want no one to ask me for nothing. Even sis asking me for a treat, I'm going to be like, you shut your mouth.
Okay.
But I still love you. Uh-huh. You know what? You should be supporting me. You have 3-day weekends to recharge. You don't have to feel like this because you get 3 days. I don't want to hear it. Speaking of cooking, let's talk about Tim Cook. Mm-hmm. How's that for a transition?
That was
actually kind of shit, I bet. But speaking of cooking, let's talk about Tim Cook. Tim Cook is stepping down. That is insane. Faith, how do you feel?
Let's describe who Tim Cook is for everybody out there that doesn't know. Because I know that there's people. No, it doesn't. I guarantee you my mom does not know who that is.
Well, maybe if you guys weren't living in
And if you say my cult leader one more time.
If you guys weren't living in a town of 25 people, this wouldn't be a fucking problem. The snail in my backyard has heard of Tim Cook. I don't know how you don't know who Tim Cook is.
Just tell them.
The CEO of Apple for 15 years.
Okay.
He's the one that brought you Apple TV, all the innovations with MacBook, AirPods, all that stuff. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah. You would say thanks to him, but he's the CEO, so he actually doesn't do anything that's worth 50 cents an hour, you know? Mm-hmm. It's a CEO. He doesn't do shit. But anyways, he's the figurehead of your cult. And he turned Apple... Well, again, don't ever give a CEO credit for anything. But of course, he is credited by the general public for taking Apple from a sub-trillion-dollar company to a multi-trillion-dollar company. I think it's like... I want to say it's like... What is it? It's around 4. It's around $4 trillion, which is Apple's valuation today.
Mm. That's insane.
Yeah. Did you know that theoretically Elon Musk is this world's first trillionaire?
I think I've seen that before, yeah.
Yeah, but not actually, because it's like total potential compensation package, and you'd actually have to meet all these performance metrics to actually become that trillionaire. But anyways, so he is Tim Cook is being replaced by John Ternus. He's a hardware engineer who's been with Apple for 25 years. That's a really long time. And he is associated with being on the teams that like fixed what I consider some of Apple's biggest fuck ups, which are like the removal of the HDMI and SD card slots in the laptop version. What do they call those? MacBooks, yes. So I am interested to see what having a hardware engineer in charge of Apple might look like. Like, does that mean for the foreseeable future, the focus is not going to be necessarily on innovation of new products, but rather improving the current line of products and just like really meeting consumer demands on like, we want like this specific port in a MacBook. Why don't we have it? And like fixing those. That's what I'm kind of wondering if that's what the direction Apple's going to go. I'm totally fine if he bankrupts Apple, though. So, as his family's resident Apple user, what are your thoughts?
See, I feel like you think that I'm like ride or die Apple, and then I would give up my soul to keep my Apple products. Literally, the only reason that I have Apple products was because my dad let me pick out a phone the next phone that I wanted, because I had this one. It stopped working because my brother chucked it at a coffee table and broke it because he's a butthole. So I went to go get a new phone, and he asked me which one I want. And at the time, iPhones were really popular. Everybody had an iPhone. Like, you were cool if you had an iPhone. So obviously, my like freshman year of high school self was like, oh, I want an iPhone. And I thought that was going to be a big fat no. Turns out my dad likes me more than my brother, and he said yes, that I can get an iPhone. And then it was a double like great situation, because one, I had an iPhone and now I was going to be cool, and two, it was going to piss my brother off. And so I was like, I want the iPhone. And so I got an iPhone, and then after that, I just like upgraded to the next iPhone, and everything was just in my cloud. And so then when I was getting a laptop, I was trying to decide which one I want, and I was like, well, I can just do Apple, because then it'll all sync. Like, everything will just be synced. So that's why I have Apple products. Those were the two reasons that started it off.
But I don't think you would ever willingly switch away.
That's not true. Because my phone right now, I feel like an old lady trying to work my phone most of the time. My phone pisses me off. I hate my phone.
But are you going to switch? Are you really going to break yourself out of that?
Well, because my laptop, I'm pretty sure, is just buried 6 feet under at this point. 2017 MacBook held on for as long as she could. And so I would get a new, like, if I ever want a new laptop, not that I ever think I'm going to get a new laptop, but I don't think I would go with an Apple. Because they're expensive, and I didn't buy this first one. They're expensive, and I don't think that I would want to buy a MacBook that would be able to, like, keep up, because I'm like, can't buy an older one because it wouldn't work very well. And so I don't want to spend that much to buy. So I don't know, probably not.
You probably wouldn't switch away?
No, like, I probably would not buy another Apple thing.
We'll see
yeah,
about
and like
that.
this phone, I'm like, I paid for this phone like not even a year ago, so I'm gonna keep it until it craps out on me, and then I'll assess what I want to do. But for right now, this phone pisses me off. I don't think you understand how many times a week.
Part of the crew, part of the ship. You're not gonna change.
How many times a week that I want to chuck my phone. So anyways, it started off with I wanted to be cool and make my brother mad. And it worked, by the way.
Okay. We gotta wrap this up. We got a long list of things we gotta do today.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the last thing I wanted to bring up, I am starting to think about changing the name again for this podcast. Because when I was looking previously for new names for this podcast, I don't know what happened, but my search results show that there was nothing that shared this name with any other podcast, right? And then as soon as I go through all the steps that are required to get a podcast name updated and changed over, as soon as that was over, I looked again. There's 100 sunny sides up.
Weird.
And I'm like, you son of a bitch. Like, I legitimately could not find anything. And I searched on multiple areas. I don't know what was really happening. But as soon as that switch was over, all of a sudden, my algorithm started actually showing me everything. I don't know. It was very weird.
It is weird.
So, now I'm thinking about getting a new name change because it is impossible for, like, even me, who's subscribed and like listens to several episodes. If I go to search for the podcast in Spotify, it's so hard to get it to come up.
Okay.
Because just I don't know, just all these other sunny sides up, it just clutters the search. So it's just annoying even for myself. And like every time someone has tried to search for it in front of me, I have to just send them the direct link.
Yeah.
So it's very annoying. Yeah, the problem is this name just works for what I envision this podcast as. Like, it's a morning talk show. And Sunny Side Up is just so perfect for that.
Yeah.
So I don't know what else I'm going to do.
I don't know either, because I do really like this one.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I mean, I could easily just add at the end, Sunny Side Up with Michael and Faith, but come on. There's actually several people.
Sometimes it's not always Michael and Faith. Sometimes Faith gets kicked off as the the co-host.
Yeah, I mean every talk show that has the names listed, not every host is there every single episode. Get off your high horse. I just mean that there are several other podcasts that also do Sunny Side Up with blank name. I'm like, okay. So I'm kind of looking for new name suggestions. Nothing anytime soon. Mm-hmm. I'm going to be very, very careful with this process. I am going to figure out names, and then I am going to research them on multiple devices, on multiple days, at multiple different times of day, to make sure it's not a repeat. Yep. But also, just so you know, naming something is the most frustrating bullshit ever.
Yeah. Good luck with our child.
Mm-hmm. You have grandma names. I don't think we'll have an issue with that.
What do you mean?
Your list of grandma names.
They're not grandma names.
Okay. But also, the one thing I'm like, maybe I don't need to worry about it, right? Movies can be the same name as other movies. They just put the year. So I guess I don't know. This is not necessarily a conversation. I'm getting too far into the back end, which I do like to talk about, but I am starting to ramble. So I'm going to wrap this up. Okay. So, movie recommendation.
No, you missed mine.
Oh, that's because you only put it in the agenda, not in the actual notes. So
I didn't want to mess up your format.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. So, I feel like over the past little bit, you've also mentioned to me that you feel like I've been just like a little negative lately with things going on. So there's a piece of good news that I really wanted to share with you that made me really, really happy. Green sea turtles.
You're just gonna casually, without like defending or validating, just gonna throw right out there to the whole world. Michael thinks I'm fucking negative.
Well, okay, because just with like the oceans documentary and just like, I don't know, there's just been a lot going on that I'm like, oh my god.
Yeah, you are fixating on like a lot of the negative aspects of the topics we've kind of like shared between us, and it's like it's a spiral. Get out of that spiral.
I feel like the Artemis 2 has really lit a spark in me and has made that a little bit better. Anyways, my good news is that green sea turtles are no longer an endangered species.
Beautiful.
That's great news. Mm-hmm. My like little Hydro Flask girl self from high school is like really happy about that one. So, okay. Or what was it? Was it Hydro Flask? What was it called?
I have no idea what
Visco
you're trying
girl?
to do.
I don't know. Anyways, whatever that was, they did this.
I'm sorry. Thing. Did you just go from Hydro Flask to Visco?
We have very different ideas of what a Visco girl is. We've had this conversation.
No, but yeah, we need to move on because I'm not going to get dragged down into this one.
We've had this conversation before, and we do not agree what a Visco girl is. So let's just move on. Anyways, that's great news, and I'm really
turtles
excited
are alive. All those metal straws I brought to bars.
Exactly,
they saved
Michael.
the turtles.
Exactly.
Yeah. All right, my movie recommendation is. Before I get to it, one bit of preamble. I am really, really bad at looking ahead in the week and kind of like prepping for that and taking that into consideration when I am building the episode, right? I'm just always so fixated on what happened before. Like I missed the Artemis 2 thing, right? And we had to talk about it afterwards. And then last weekend, didn't realize 420 was coming up. So now today's movie recommendation is to recognize 420, which should have came last week so that you could have watched my 420 recommendation on 420.
Oh, right.
But
yeah, get it together.
Shut up. My movie recommendation is Smiley Face from 2007. Faith got to experience the first half of this movie last night, but it is it's like an essential 420 movie.
It's okay. Let me preface this first. It is a 420 movie a 420 movie of what people in 2005 thought smoking weed was going to do to you.
But here's the thing. Those movies were also written directed and acted by potheads too.
No, I know.
So like
It's
they
just-
played into what Hollywood thought they were.
No, I know.
Okay.
Exactly. That's what makes them so funny to watch. But I was watching it and I was like, this is exactly what people thought that smoking weed did to you. Like, you'll lose everything. You'll lose your furniture, no money, no job, you're a bum. Like, that's exactly what it was. And it was just really funny. Because, yeah, they, like, very much played in to that. And it was just really funny. Because I was like, that's okay. So.
Well, two great actors are in this movie. They kind of headline it. Anna Faris and John Krasinski.
Also, by the way, you said John Krasinski was going to be in that. Did not see him in the part that we watched.
You went to bed early. So.
We were like halfway done with the movie. And no John Krasinski. And you even said young John Krasinski. I was so excited, Michael.
Well, if you hadn't gone to bed, we'd be fine. You would have saw.
Did you want me to be up at 8:30 this morning?
Oh, please. As if you weren't on your phone for another hour. We could have finished the movie. Anyways, let's actually give the plot of this movie.
First of all, I was not on my phone for an hour. I literally went to bed as soon as my head hit the pillow.
Okay. Moving on. So, Anna Faris' character, which Anna Faris, love her. The very first movie I ever saw, maybe, I don't know if you've ever seen these like spoof movies of, like they just take an amalgamation of various like pop culture movies and then twist and warp them and then create a whole new like concept from them. Have you ever seen any kind of movie like that?
I don't know.
Okay. So Anna Faris plays particular characters. She's in the Scream movies, and she also does usually like some stoner movies, raunchy comedy, that kind of stuff. Always been a big fan of her. I saw her as a kid. I can't remember the name of the movie. Forgot to look it up, but she is playing in a spoof movie of Willy Wonka, Narnia, and the X-Men.
What the heck?
Yeah, combine those three with like several other movie ideas. Yeah, fantastic. Anyways, so her character unknowingly eats her roommate's pot cupcakes, and a lot of pot cupcakes. And of course, she gets
which is
high.
another one of the things of like what people think people do when they're stoned is there was like 10 cupcakes with a note that said do not eat.
Right. So she gets super high, and a lot of misadventures and disasters happen because she needs to make it to her acting audition, pay the bill, and pay the bill for electricity so power doesn't get turned off, and pay her drug dealer back who she owes several $100s to. Mm-hmm. It's a disaster, but it's very funny. And it's very oddly like an introspective movie. Like there's a lot of like thought-provoking questions that are sometimes asked, and then you realize like there's a point where they're having a conversation about the like market concepts of the drug business on the streets.
Right.
Like you know, is it Reagan economics or is it just plain old capitalism, right? And there's one more thing that I really love about this movie that's actually very, very difficult. It's a game you can play when you watch this movie. The whole point of this movie is it's about how she gets from point A to point Z, right? So once the movie starts, you can look on the screen, and throughout the whole movie, you will find the alphabet in alphabetical order from A to Z as she's going about her day. Now,
What the heck?
A, B, C, and Z are super just like in your face, like camera zoomed in on it, but D through Y are not as super obvious. So there's a couple of rules that the directors gave the set designer when they were doing this. They're like, it has to be like kind of like in the background, and if there's a letter, whatever that letter is on, like if it's the letter on a shirt, it has to be the first time that object is in the show for it to count for that letter.
Okay.
And there's
Interesting.
there's one more rule.
We got like a little puzzle.
Yeah, there's shoot. Yeah, there's one more rule. I can't remember it, but those rules are written out there to find, and there's a video of the director explaining it and stuff. But yeah, it's a very difficult game. So I got E, and then the next thing I saw was J, and I was like, son of a bitch. So I still can't find all the letters.
Well, you should have told me that so I could have helped you.
Oh, well, maybe now you can finish the movie with me, and you can help me find the rest of the letters.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right, that's mine. Faith, what do you got?
I'm gonna do this as trying so briefly. My movie recommendation is Project Hail Mary. I have not seen a movie that good and that well done and that fantastic in a long time. Project Hail Mary was insanely well done. Ryan Gosling just did a phenomenal job playing that character. Like, his mannerisms and the way he delivered lines and everything was just so incredibly fantastic. And it was a 2.5 hour long movie. And I was sucked in for every single moment, which usually does not happen for me. There's always some point in a movie where I'm like, okay, I'm like kind of bored when they're that long. This one was so incredibly good. And I was so surprised about how much I like this movie. If you live under a rock and don't know what Project Hail Mary is, it is a movie adaptation from a book of the same author of The Martian, which also did really well. So they really jumped on this. And it's like, there's this weird thing eating the sun, Earth's gonna die, they need to send people.
It's a bacteria. Yeah,
bacteria eating the sun, Earth's like gonna die, but there's this one star that hasn't been affected, and they want to send people to go try and figure out why. It's a suicide mission. They send people up there. They're not going to come back. And so he wakes up on this.
Well, don't give away all the plot details.
No, I'm saying the main points. But he wakes up on the ship and doesn't remember who he is. He has to go through and try and figure out who he is, why he's there, what the goal is, what the mission is. And so it just goes back and forth between his life before he left and his life now. And, like, the little sidekick he gets is wonderful. I sobbed during this movie, so heads up. But it was, and, like, the ending was just so beautiful and so amazing. And I was just very, very, very shocked that I enjoyed and liked this movie as much as I did. It's not something I normally go for. So
that's your movie recommendation.
Project Hail Mary. It was fascinating. Or fantastic.
I would back that up and say I'm listening to the audiobook. I've got an hour left of it, and it is one of the best audio narrators. He handles accents so well. I wanted to actually point one thing out. I was actually this close to bringing up Hail Mary as a topic on the episode, but I was like, me and you have talked this movie to death, so I didn't.
Yeah, we've talked about it quite a bit.
But there is one thing that this movie does that I really, really enjoy. And Stargate Atlantis did a similar thing in their show with one of the episodes. And it's this piece right here. A character wakes up with memory loss, right? And they get a little bit of flashes from their before life, and they start basing their, like, awakened personality on the current experiences they are going through and the trials and tribulations with the broken memories from before. And so they start developing a new personality. But then at some point, they remember what actually got them here and what happened. And then that kind of unlocks the last bit of remembering their old personality. And then they have to decide, do I follow the new personality or do I follow my old one based on my memories here? And I'm angry or I'm upset or I've been betrayed, and that's why I'm here. But, like, I've already committed myself to these new ideals. Which personality and which belief system do I now follow? And I just really enjoy that, because the first time I came across that was Stargate Atlantis, where they did something very close to that, where they have these, like, energy or life force sucking vampire creatures, and they were trying to transform them into humans to kill their whole species. Totally worth it. These guys are the bad guys. But they had a whole village of them, basically, and they kidnapped them, erased their memories, and then were giving them treatments to turn them into humans. Mm-hmm. But then they started getting memories of their old selves pre-transformation, and they were having these conflicts about which personality, which is the real us, them or what we are now. So anyways, it just reminded me a lot. There's a lot of similarities there, and so I really love that kind of like sci-fi story.
Yeah, and in Project Hail Mary, there is a couple times where you sit there and you're like, huh, like how much is like you brought up before, like how much are humans willing to sacrifice for like this cause, you know?
Were you trying to say that's related to what I just said?
No, I'm just saying like it brings up like points that really make you think, you know?
Oh.
Like there's a lot of things that make you think in this movie, and I think it's really good. And like I said, his little Rocky sidekick, man, I loved him. It was so good. And like
before
voices
Faith
and
gives
everything.
any spoilers, we're ending the podcast. Thank you so much for joining us. I can see it on the tip of her tongue. She's about to drop spoilers. So
I was not.
You were.
No.